everyone, and welcome to the Red Brick House. So today's video is going to be a continuation of my slow stitch turkey project that I've been working on. In the last video I made the background, and if you're curious on how I did that, you can find that video here on YouTube. And today I'm going to continue working on stitching the turkey, and then I'll probably add a little bit of embellishments at the end. And so I'm really excited to get started on this project. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tack these pieces of my bird down to my fabric. But first I want to trim this wing down a little bit because I feel like it's a little bit too big. So I've taken the pin out of it, and I think I'm just going to take my really small scissors and I'm just going to go around the inside of this blue line where I had drawn it with the blue, fabric marker. I'm going to go on the inside of that blue line, and I'm going to see what it looks like, and then hopefully it'll look a little bit better. To me, it just looks a little bit too big. Sometimes you do something once and it looks okay, and then you come back to it and you're like, maybe I don't like that the way that it is. Okay, there we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, so now that I have that the way that I want it, I think I'm gonna start with this light color. I'm gonna tack that down first, and I'm almost tempted to hit it with a little bit of water to take that blue line off of there. So if you look closely, it still has a little blue line on it, and I don't love that, but it's okay. I'm just not going to bother with that right now because I don't have a dab of water in here that I could do that with. So I'm going to get my thread ready, and then I'm just going to tack that. I'm just going to do probably a back stitch or a running stitch around this creamy white area here. Okay, now I have gone all the way around the edge of this tail, and now I think I'm going to put some brown lines in here for my little turkey feathers for some definition, and to tack down this brown fabric because it keeps trying to come out. So I'm going to do that next just because it's kind of irritating me. I did not tie off my cream colored thread here. I'm going to leave it there because I'm probably going to use it again. I'm going to just kind of pull it so it's out of the way, and I might just use my pin to kind of keep it out of the way so it's not getting tangled up in my brown thread that I'm about to use. So I'm just going to kind of wad it up and hopefully kind of keep it over there because I didn't want to get out another needle. So let me see, let me look for my browns. I think I'm going to use this one on this dark brown fabric. I think that will look pretty good. I'm just going to do one line, just kind of like I did there. Later I can use some different browns and kind of fill it in so it looks a little bit more natural and not so straight, flat one color. But I'll do that later. Right now I'm just kind of getting the basic things in place. I'm using 2 strings of embroidery thread, and this color is, in case you're interested, it's DMC, and it is 3371. So I think I'm just going to start back up here at the top like I did before, and I'm going to follow the same lines, and I'm going to kind of come underneath my turkey body here so that it really looks like those feathers are coming out from behind the grayish fabric here. And I'm going to work my way right up to that little cream line. Now these are just straight stitches. Uh-oh, getting caught. There we go. Okay, oh my goodness, so many pins. That's why I'm tacking all this down, so I can hopefully get some of these pins out of the way. Okay, but that's all I'm doing. I'm just doing a straight stitch. And like I said, I'm going to come out from underneath. I want these lines going at an angle. There we go. So they look realistic, hopefully. And it's going to go up to here. I'm not really worried about that middle part because I am going to put a black line of probably pearled cotton because it's a little thicker, and it'll be kind of like a bar. I don't know how they call that on birds when they have like a bar, a color, and they call it like a barred color, like a stripe kind of. It's going to have that in between this brown and the cream. Okay, I'll do one more here on camera, and then I'll just go ahead and finish up off camera. So I'm just going to bring it right up to there. I can always add more in later. Okay. So it's going to look like that for now. So I'm just going to do some more across here. Okay, well, I kind of repositioned the body of my turkey. I think it looks better like this. And I finished the tail there. I put in some, just kind of an idea of tail feathers. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to define this wing right here. And then I'm going to also do a line over here on the turkey's breast. And then I'll probably gonna have to take off this head, and I want to put some greenery over here. I thought the head was gonna come up here, but the neck was really long, so I trimmed the neck down, and now it doesn't. So I'm gonna add some grass or something through here, because to me this looks very like choppy. And so I think I'm gonna do that next. So I'm just going to do, I think I'm just going to do like a back stitch maybe on this wing. Probably a stem stitch wouldn't be a bad idea, I don't think, because I kind of do need a straight line of stitching. So I don't want running stitch, but I think I'm going to do a back stitch. I'm going to do it right on the edge of this wing fabric here, and I'm using kind of a variegated gray, bluish gray kind of thread. I'm just going to keep going down here, and then I might put a line in here just to define the wing a little bit, and then a line over here, and that should hold down the body and the wing, and then I'll address the head and the legs. Okay, I'll show you my progress here, so you can kind of now see, at least I can in person. I hope it shows up on camera, but I can kind of see, it's vague, but I can see a kind of a definition of the wing right here. And then I put this in here for the breast. And now I think I'm going to take this pin out. I do have its head tacked on, but I'm going to move the pin down here, and I'm going to put in some grass and kind of soften the edges of this little applique that I did here. Okay, So let's see how that looks, and if I need to do more, I'll do more. So I'm just gonna take that pin out. Oh, that looks better. I do think I want more over here, but I can do that later. Now it looks a little bit better with the head there, I think. So now what to do with the head? I think the head is what I'm kind of like worried about the most because the turkeys have a lot of this like knobby looking, like pinky reddish colored stuff there, and I don't know how I'm going to convey that. I don't have any fabric that I could add on to it. I could use a Sharpie marker and kind of color it up a little bit. If you've watched Marion from Marion's World, she does a lot of ink tints painting, like when she needs a color in an area like that. And I see why, because, you know, it's just such a little small area, but it would help to have a little bit of color there. So I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I would kind of like to get it tacked down a little more than what it is right now. But I may just leave it for now. I may add a little bit of pink onto this neck and then come back, or red. And I'm also going to stitch down here by the legs. So right here, I'm going to do the same thing I did up here with this grass. And I'm just going to make some grass that's going to go over top of the bottom of these legs here and soften up those edges. And where the legs connect up here, these are supposed to be on top. They went underneath when I was stitching. They're supposed to be on top for a reason, because my plan was to do like a satin stitch over the tops of these legs. It's going to be very tedious, I think. Sorry, my hands are in the way. Anyway, but first I'm going to get this down here at the bottom done, and then I'll figure out, I'll probably go ahead and put the legs in then before I start doing feathers over top of the body. Okay, I'm just going to continue here working on some grass, and I'm going to tack these legs down here somehow against their body. I think I'll just do a little stitch there to hold them down, and then we'll move on to the head. Okay, so I have taken some Sharpie markers here. I have an orange and a red, and I have drawn on kind of the idea of its neck here. And I'm not exactly sure how I want to stitch that. I want to stitch some little lines in here to give some definition. And I also want to blend the neck into the body a little bit here. So I even brought the coloring onto this fabric here to try to do that. And so it's going to be very interesting. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to look. And then up here they have like a little flap that comes right here. So I've kind of drawn that onto the green fabric there. And so I don't know, this is going to be interesting. I don't know how it's going to look, but I'm going to try to get something down on this neck. I might start out easy and go do like maybe a stem stitch and go up through here and around that little flap on the green part. I think I'm going to start there. barely see it. And that's what I want. I want you to barely be able to see that little definition right there. So I think you can kind of see my marker lines there where I made kind of little circles. My camera will focus. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be going around all those little circles there. Okay, so I have kind of finished up my little turkey neck. And it did give some texture to just put some stitches in here. I don't really like this area, but it's okay. I'm gonna leave it be right now. I think maybe it'll look better once I get more stitching done on it. But I am gonna go down here to these legs because, like I said, they keep flopping up and kind of bothering me. So I'm going to do just a satin stitch over top of them, and it's gonna be quite large here, and then when I get down here to the leg, hopefully the leg will appear a little skinnier. So that's kind of my plan, because they do have kind of feathers on at the top of their legs under their belly. And so that's what I'm going to try to kind of do. And I also want them to blend in to this fabric back here too. So I'm using 2 strands of gray in my needle. It's kind of a dark gray color. And so let's try to do that. Not really sure how big I want to start it off at. I'll do this one first. I'm going to start kind of big. Kind of a big stitch. It's almost going to be like couching because you know what? It might have been better if I started small and worked my way up. I don't know if that matters, but it might have been a little easier. There we go. So that kind of held that, it's holding that leg down. So I'm going to do 2 or 3 like that. Oops. 2 or 3 about that size of stitch, and then I'll kind of gradually get smaller. And this little area might overlap with this other leg being so close to it. Okay, I'm losing my little flap there. So, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep working down till I get to the end of its leg. And then I'll come back when I have finished up these legs and show you what they look like. And then I'll move on to something else. Okay, let me show you the legs now that I've finished them. I think I'm going to come in with maybe a gray marker. Hopefully I have one. And I'm just going to make some little lines on these legs to kind of give some definition. Since I still have this gray thread, I went down to 1 strand, and I'm going to come across here and do the little beak part here on the neck and right here. Okay, I've started working on my feather stitch. So I started up here, and I'm using 2 strands of black. I really don't think it's dark. It's not thick enough. I might even use the pearled cotton But I wanted to kind of get the hang of this stitch. Like I said, this is the first time I've done feather stitch. And so I kind of want to get the hang of it before I make it terribly visible. Because there might be some mistakes being made here. So I'm just practicing this stitch. And that's what my embroidery right now is all about. It's learning new stitches, trying them out, and practicing them. So they're, of course, they're not going to look like, you know, someone who's been doing this a long time and knows what they're doing. And I think my thread's a little bit too long. Okay. But that's just the progress that I've made here. It's hard for me to kind of judge how far down I need to go. I tried to draw it on the other end, and then I don't know, it wasn't working out very well. So, well, then maybe it's just easier if I just stitch it. So I'm going to come over to this side now. I think I've got the hang of it. Only thing is that I'm going to have to do another series of it on this edge of this wing because of the way it's shaped. So I'm not really good about judging how to do that, but I'm going to try it and see how it looks. So I'm just going to keep making these. I'm going to do this till I get to the bottom of this wing. And then I'm also going to do that across the body of this turkey. It's kind of it's a fun stitch to make. Okay, I have finished my stitching on the turkey body. It's not really that great, y'all, but I started out trying to do a feather stitch pattern through here. You can kind of see it there and there. And then as I went along, I needed these feathers to kind of shift the direction they were going. And because these are really odd shapes to fill in, I kind of just started doing my own thing. I just kind of started doing basically connected fly stitches, really is kind of what it was, through here. And so I also switched to pearl cotton, which shows up a lot better. I kind of wish I would have reversed these and maybe did the pearled cotton on the wing so that it looked like it was laying on top of the bird rather than this kind of stands out more than the wing, and the wing kind of gets lost in there. But it is what it is, you know. So now I'm going to work on the tail. I'm going to add some more lines in here with a lighter brown color like this, and I'm going to go over these lines, and I'm going to add one in between here because these are just really too far apart. And so I'm going to do that next, and then I might put an outline around this creamy edge here. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to go all the way around here. And then I'm going to put a black little line in between here. And then I'm also going to go on the edge with a darker color. I think it's going to be this color. Just on the edge there, on that cream. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back when I'm all done. Okay, I have finished my turkey's tail and the body, And now the only thing I have left to do is the eye up here and maybe a little nostril. But I'll bring it in close so you can kind of see. I don't love the edge I did on here. It doesn't really look very nice. I'm thinking maybe it would have been better if I had done blanket stitch around there. But I do like the black. The black really helped to kind of, I don't know, just made it look a lot better. Made it come together and look a lot better. So now, like I said, I'm going to work on the eye. I looked here in my button tin and I did not find any buttons except for this one, but this one's too big. I'm going to have to invest in some buttons, or I'm going to have to go thrifting for more buttons. I have a whole box of buttons here. This was my grandmother's. This was my grandmother's button. And so my mom's buttons and my grandmother's buttons are in here. I have a ton of buttons, but not the kind of button I needed. So if I go out thrifting, I am going to be looking for buttons I can use for eyes in the future. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really like big French knot. I'm using pearled cotton and I'm going to, I don't know if that's called a bullion knot or not, where you load up your needle with a lot of thread. But I'm going to come up about right here. I think that's about where its eye would be. And I am just going to load this up as big as I can. As many strands. I'm going to put quite a few. Wait, hold on. I'm going to put quite a few on here. I don't know how many, but I'm going to put a lot. I'm just going to wrap it a lot. I should have used like 2 strands of pearled cotton, but I don't think 2 strands would have gone into this needle. Maybe I could have used a different needle, but I'm loading it up. We'll see what happens. I mean, if it doesn't look good, the worst thing I can do, I mean, I can just take it out. So, whoops. Okay. I've probably got, I don't know, 10 to 15 loops on there. And this is going to be very tricky to get my needle back where I want it. I think I'm going to go right there. Let's see what happens. Hold that thread tight. Okay. And I'm going to push all those through. Push my needle through. I mean, all of those. Okay. It might look more like a loop. I have no idea what's going to happen here. It does. I made like a bullion knot. I wonder what if I loosened it up? I wondered if I could make it more round if I didn't have it so tight. Could I make it into a round shape and then stitch it down? Because right now it's got a weird eyeball. But what if I stitched it like that? Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go up through the middle. I'm going to go through this eyeball somewhere. And I'm going to try to stitch it down. I'm going to try to shape it. It's okay if it's like an oval. That's okay. I'm not going to be too upset about that. But I am just squishing this thread to see if I can and I might come up several times and kind of tack this down the way that I want it. I think it's going to work. After I get it, some of it done here, I'll show you up close. Okay. Because I really wanted a raised eye. I could have just done like a satin stitch and done it that way. But There we go. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, it's a little big. It actually turned out, I was afraid it wasn't going to be big enough, and now it's a little bit too big. Okay, well, now we're going to give him a little nostril here. Okay, I wanted to show you guys a picture that I took. It is on my phone, and it's kind of a picture I took of where I thought a turkey might live. So I hope you can see this. We were on our nature walk, and I just took this picture, and then I took that picture too, and it kind of gave me an idea of this is kind of what, you know, a background of what I think, you know, that's just where a wild turkey would live, right there. And so I'm going to kind of use this as a guide to kind of make some more scruffy stuff on my turkey here. So I think what I want to do is maybe do some straight stitches coming up with some little French knots on top. I also want this to be in the background, and this is more in the foreground. And so the things that I put back here are going to be smaller than the things that I put up here. So up here I need to have bigger things, and back here I need to have smaller things, as you can see in this picture. So these things, you know, I don't know. It's, you know, doing art and doing perspective is not the easiest thing. It probably comes natural to a lot of people who do art and paint and things like that. I think it's so interesting, and I'm going to attempt to do that. I'm just going to add some different things here. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm going to do some stem stitch, because I would like to have kind of a shrubby, you know, maybe a shrub that's lost its leaves, something like that. And then I also want to do some little dots and give this some texture through here. Maybe add some grass, like right here I could do some grass stitches. And so I'm just gonna work on that, and I'm just gonna fill it in, try to do, you know, some different types of stitches, practice, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So here we go. Okay, I have finished this little piece. I've added some things to the background here. So I'll just bring it in closer so you can see a little better. So I really like this little piece here. I think that's really cute. And I really like the branching that I did over here. But I also made like a little bundle here too. And then I just added some grass. I added some grass down here. I added some French knots in here. And that's really all I did. Besides finishing up on my landscape. I did put some lines down here. I don't love them. They're very helter-skelter. I was kind of trying to go along with the heathering in this fabric. And then I was trying to kind of make them go uphill and then down. He was kind of like up on a hill and this kind of sloped down. It didn't work out. I don't really like how that looks. I don't really like how the legs look right here either. But you know, this is my first project and it was so much fun. I really loved stitching the landscape and I liked stitching the turkey too. It was way more tedious than just doing the landscape part, but it's such a fun creative process and I really enjoyed it. And so I hope that this will inspire you if you're new to embroidery the way that I am and you look at some of the work that other people do and you think, oh wow, I can never do that, because that's what I thought. I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know if, you know, anybody's even going to want to watch this on YouTube. Because I am not like the other people who have a lot of experience in doing this. But I hope that that's the reason why I do this channel. I hope that it can inspire someone who is also new and might just inspire you to start a project like this if that's what you've been wanting to do. And so I just encourage you to do that wholeheartedly, because I think, you know, I jumped into this and I thought, you know, I don't think I have the skills to do all this. This is more of an advanced project. That's the kind of ideas and kind of the way I was talking to myself when, you know, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But, you know, when you want to do something and you're craving to do something, it's going to turn out great because, you know, you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to look up different stitches, you're willing to do all those things to put together something beautiful. And so you absolutely can do it. And with that said, I hope that you have enjoyed these videos. I know I'll be doing more in the future. I have a couple of ideas for some Christmassy things that might have some slow stitching or some embroidery work in them. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.